You cannot imagine how grateful I am to Sam and Latania to join here. Sam and Latania never stopped showing me how much they close to me they are, and I'm really grateful. He knows how much respect I have on his job, and how much respect I have for him as for them as human being. Very generous people, very committed in humanitarian issues. And I think that the presentation last night was something even too little for this giant of the global culture. I think that the movie that he did recently with Quentin Tarantino was, as everybody said, a masterpiece. He deserved the Oscar for this performance. Although another Ischia friend, Christophe, got it, but I'm sure that the day that Samuel is going to hold up the Oscar is very soon, because we are talking about the most incredible actor of our cinema. Allora, è davvero un piacere avere a Ischia Global Samuel Jackson, una delle leggende del cinema mondiale, tantissimi film, forse è l'attore con maggiori successi, dai film per giovanissimi a film cult per grandi, insomma un attore di quelli con la maiuscola, quest'anno protagonista coprotagonista del Django al cinema di Quentin Tarantino, una sua interpretazione straordinaria. Samuel, nice to see you here in Ischia. So, com'è stato il primo approccio con quest'isola? What was your first approach with this island? How did you like it?
I'm enjoying Ischia so far. You know, for some reason I thought I'd been here. I don't really know why, but I've been in so many places, Bolivia, in and around this area so much. I've seen it, but it's lovely. When you come back now, so I have more time to explore.
Ecco, ieri for Rio di Ischia Samuel Jackson ha presentato in anteprima mondiale un'animazione da DreamWorks, Turbo, un film nel quale lui presta la sua voce e accolto da grandissimo affetto da parte della popolazione. È divertente doppiare i cartoni animati.
Animation is a very interesting kind of animal. You read the script, you accept the job, but you don't see any of the product for a long time. Eventually, they end up showing you one image of what your character is going to look like, and hopefully they'll use what you do in the studio. They shoot you while you're in the booth, and they use your facial expressions for those animated characters. But you're never, I've never been in the booth or in the studio with another actor. It's just me and the director. They'll tell you what's getting ready to happen. They'll have the dialogue and we'll do it. Or they'll say, okay, we just need you to make some sounds to go along with this particular thing, whatever. And then over the course of the next 2.5, almost 3 years, you start getting strange phone calls every now and then. We need you in the studio. Who is it? Who is it? Oh. And it's them. And you go in the studio. Some days you'll go in the studio and you'll work for 3 minutes. You'll do 2 lines and okay, thanks. And you leave. And then some days you go in and you'll be there for 2.5 hours doing stuff. And eventually you get the product. But you have to have an enormous amount of trust in the people that are creating the particular animation. It's like I just ran into the director of The Incredibles in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago. And I just asked him, why did you not make another Incredibles? Because that's a great film. And I always assumed that the film was so good that they were afraid to make another one because it wouldn't be as good. And they just have not done that, and and Brad's a very smart and very good filmmaker. After he did The Incredibles, he went on to do Mission Impossible.
Sure.
But hopefully one day they'll get back to it. And this film is good. There are a lot of interesting people doing voices in it. Ryan Reynolds is essentially the lead, and there are other people like Snoop Dogg. He's a very interesting snail. We're all snails in this film. The concept of it itself is just amazing. That you have a group of snails that want to be fast. They're racing snails, and one snail becomes actually superpowered enough to enter the Indianapolis 500. So people who like racing, adults who like racing will love it because the racing animation is amazing. And kids who just like things about fantastical stories of dreams that can come true or determination or whatever will have a great time watching these films.
I think I managed to cross all the spectrums just because I'm a huge film fan. I always have been. I've been going to the movies seriously since I was a very small child and pretending to be in those particular films. And I always thought that being in the theater would give me a sort of advantage that would allow me to go into all kinds of things. So I did comedy, I did musicals, I did dramas, I did children's theater, I did improvisational theater. I did all these things preparing to put myself in this great professional field. So that, so much so that I think when I got to New York, people started looking at me like I was over-prepared. I'd done too much. But I still think that telling stories is what we do. We're storytellers. And I like to tell all kinds of stories. I love drama, I love comedy, I love adventure. I always wanted to be a pirate on a ship, swimming from ship to ship with a dagger in my mouth. That's what I did. And I always wanted a big gun in my hand and play cowboys and Indians and cops and robbers and all those other things. But stories are stories, and we try to tell them. I found a way to do them, and I found a way to, sometimes I choose films because they're the films that I went to see when I was a kid. I like adventure stories, so when a script like Snakes on a Plane came across my desk, it was just not even a question of whether I would do it. It didn't matter to me if the audiences liked it. It was something that I needed to do for me because that's the kind of movie I would have gone to see when I was a kid. Snakes on a Plane, yeah, I'm in that. And I find stories and I try to find characters on the insides of those stories that will challenge me as an actor. And I actually do films that I want to see. I have this thing about when I was a young actor in the theater, I always wanted to go to the plays that I was in and watch them with me in them, and I couldn't. So now I have this great venue that I can watch myself work. So I choose things that I want to see myself in. And I watch it. I'm not like those actors who can't watch themselves. I kind of enjoy watching people.
We do too.